Welcome back to Skillify English and to today's deep dive. We have a really fascinating stack of sources today.
Yeah, we're looking at some recent psychology journals and mindfulness articles.
Exactly. And our mission today is to figure out how to find that quiet magic hidden inside our completely ordinary routines. Because, I mean, let's be honest, do you ever feel like a mere background character in your own life?
Oh, all the time.
Right. You just wake up, commute, wash the dishes, and repeat it all without any real spark of excitement.
It is so common. We look at a predictable routine and we just feel bored. But, biologically speaking, a boring routine is actually a massive success.
Wait, a success? How?
Well, it's a sign of profound safety. Your brain doesn't have to scan for predators. You are in danger. But the tragic irony is that modern life kind of tricks us into perceiving this safety as a failure.
I hear what you're saying about safety, but, I mean, scrubbing oatmeal off a bowl every morning doesn't exactly feel like a beautiful sign of safety.
Right, it just feels tedious.
Yeah. Why is my brain actively punishing me with boredom if this routine is supposedly what I need?
Because your brain's baseline for a good day has been artificially hijacked. We have to look at screens.
Social media.
Exactly. Before social media, your brain compared your Tuesday to your neighbor's Tuesday. Now your phone feeds you the exotic highlight reels of millions of people.
So you're constantly seeing these global vacations and massive achievements.
Yeah, and your brain habituates to that extreme level of stimulation. So suddenly your perfectly safe reality registers as painfully understimulating.
Which totally explains why we just check out, right? We go into this autopilot mode.
Yeah.
And for our everyday learners, autopilot is when you're doing something automatically without really thinking about it.
That is a perfect definition. It's like your brain's energy-saving mode.
It's like being a lagging video game character. Your physical body is chopping vegetables, but mentally, your brain is already at the office frantically trying to answer an email.
That is the perfect way to describe it. Your processing power is maxed out trying to render a fake, stressful future.
So you literally stop rendering the physical world around you.
Right. You are functioning on autopilot, but you aren't actually experiencing your life.
Which brings us to the big question. How do we force the system to reboot? How do we show up for the mundane stuff? And by mundane, we're talking about ordinary, unexciting things like laundry.
The solution you see in these mindfulness sources is this idea of romanticizing your life.
Romanticizing? Like bringing flowers to my washing machine?
Not quite. It means injecting small, intentional moments of beauty into basic tasks without spending money.
Oh, okay. Like what?
Well, instead of eating dinner out of a plastic container while scrolling in the dark, you put it on a real plate, you light a candle, you put on some soft jazz.
Wait, I have to stop you there. So the grand solution to my existential dread about my repetitive life is to light a candle at dinner.
I know, it sounds a bit trivial.
It feels like putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg. How does a candle fix the fact that I'm doing the exact same chore?
It makes sense when you look at how it breaks that autopilot mode we talked about. Autopilot relies on complete predictability.
Right.
So when you light a candle or play a new piece of music, you introduce sensory novelty. You change the smell or the sound of your environment.
And that forces your brain to process new data.
Exactly. It kicks you out of the energy-saving mode. You are physically altering your brain state just by paying attention to a new stimulus.
That actually makes a lot of sense. You're creating a speed bump for your brain so it has to slow down and look around.
Yeah, it really does.
And, when you finally look around, it becomes glaringly obvious how much we take for granted. We don't even think about a hot shower or a warm bed.
Not until the hot water breaks in the middle of February.
Exactly. When that happens, you suddenly realize that having hot water on demand is an absolute luxury. But why do we need a crisis to appreciate the baseline?
Because of that habituation we mentioned. And to counter it, the research points to active gratitude.
And gratitude, just to recap our vocabulary, is the feeling of being thankful for what you have.
Right. It's not just a buzzword. It's the active practice of recognizing your comforts. When you consciously remind yourself of the mechanics behind it all, like the plumbing or the electricity, it rewires your perspective.
So it reframes a supposedly boring life as a profound privilege.
Exactly. It shifts the definition of a good life.
Your everyday reality really doesn't need to look like a high-speed action movie to be beautiful. Real happiness is hiding right there inside the smallest, most fully present moments.
The ordinary isn't the enemy. It is the foundation. And the more you practice pulling yourself out of autopilot, the richer that foundation becomes.
I love that. We'll leave you with a final challenge to test that out. The next time you do a completely mundane chore like washing the dishes, imagine for just 1 minute that you had lost the physical ability to do it. Think about the mechanics of your hands, the feeling of the warm water, the soap. How does that simple physical act suddenly transform from a tedious chore into a privilege?